What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my Blu-ray DVD update for May 21st, 2013. So I've got 8 new Blu-rays to show you, all from last year, and all these movies were in my sort of top 30, top 40 of 2012, so some very good films, some good surprises. A couple were in my top 20, so let's get started. Up first, we have my favorite horror film of last year, and that's The Cabin in the Woods, directed by Drew Goddard, and starring Liam Hemsworth and Kristen Connolly. Really good, I thought. Halfway through the film, I thought, what the hell, this is just another Evil Dead ripoff. I mean, it was exactly like Evil Dead through the first half. And then the surprise happens, they go underground, and some great shit goes down once the second half of the film happens. When those elevator doors open and all hell breaks loose, that was one of the coolest moments of last year in any movie, I thought. Yeah, loads of fun, really interesting and original in the way it sort of changed sort of the typical teenagers hanging out in a creepy cabin in the woods, obviously. Yeah, really cool. I got the lenticular slipcover. Sort of gives away the whole point of the second half, though. If you haven't seen this film and you don't know what happens, I'm sorry about that. But really cool. I also liked seeing actors like Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford, who play two technicians, sort of controlling what's going on in this odd cabin. And I believe it was Sigourney Weaver also makes a sort of interesting appearance at the end of the film. Yeah, really cool, I thought. Just a great, fun horror movie from last year. Okay, up next, another great surprise from last year, and that's Chronicle, film directed by Josh Trask, starring Dane DeHaan and a couple other unknown actors. Interesting, cool sort of sci-fi action superhero movie about 3 high schoolers. 2 of them are friends, one's more of an acquaintance. They make a strange discovery, a hole in the ground, maybe a fallen meteorite of some kind. It sort of gives them telekinetic powers, and they film themselves playing pranks on people, moving cars, moving like teddy bears in toy stores, freaking out little kids, that kind of thing. And then they discovered that their powers are more substantial than that, and then the stakes get raised. The real great surprise of this film was Dane DeHaan as Adam. Really good performance by him, really the standout of this movie. Really cool second half, I thought. Just a cool, interesting film, a different take on the sort of superhero genre. They're not really superheroes, just a couple of high schoolers with amazing powers all of a sudden. But really cool film, set in Seattle. Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. And a great surprise from last year. Okay, up next, probably the most ambitious and daring film of last year, and that's Cloud Atlas, directed by the Wachowskis and Tom Tykwer. All-star cast, Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Jim Broadbent, Jim Sturgis, Susan Sarandon. Yeah, an amazing film, really. Bunch of different storylines over the past, present, and future, sort of intertwining themes and characters. All these different actors play multiple characters over multiple storylines. I don't know if it totally worked, because at the end of it I felt, well, what was the point of all that? But I did enjoy it for what it was. Visually stunning, lots of great actors, big Tom Hanks fan, obviously. Not a Halle Berry fan, but yeah, some really cool stuff in here. I don't know if it totally worked, and it sort of bombed, I think, at the time when it came out. But I dug it. I like these type of films. I like films that dare to be different and take chances, and this film certainly did that. Okay, up next, another great crime film from last year. I've been saying it mostly this year. Last year was a good year for crime movies. Lots of great crime movies. The Savages, 7 Psychopaths, what was the one with Killing Me Softly, stuff like that. The one with Christopher Walken and Al Pacino, which I'm forgetting the title of, about the old guys or whatever. And this one, End of Watch, really good sort of hard-hitting crime thriller set in Los Angeles, directed by David Ayer, also from the writer of Training Day, which I'm not a huge fan of. I respect Denzel Washington in that film, of course, his performance, and Ethan Hawke as well, who's starring in the film I'll get to in a minute. But yeah, really good performances by Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. Michael Pena, underrated actor, as two LA street cops sort of stumble across a vicious Mexican drug cartel and get mixed up with them. This film is very emotional at the end. It doesn't end well for these two guys. I also like Anna Kendrick as well. She plays the fiance of, I believe it's Gyllenhaal. Yeah, just a good film, really good performances, very sort of gritty and hard-hitting, very straightforward crime thriller and set in Los Angeles. Okay, moving on. Probably the most emotional film of last year, at least for me it was, when I saw it. And that's The Impossible, directed by J.A. Bayona, and of course is the true story of a British family on holiday in Phuket, Thailand, in over Christmas time, 2004, when the devastating Sumatran earthquake and following tsunami happened on December 26th of that year, Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. Ewan McGregor and Naomi Watts, two of my favorite actors and actresses. Naomi Watts is definitely one of my favorite actresses. She's stunning in this film. Of course, it deals with the aftermath of the tsunami and this family trying to survive and reunite. Naomi Watts, the first half of the film, her and her oldest son get separated, get swept up in the tsunami. There's that great shot of the wave coming over the palm trees and into the pool area as the hotel sort of frames it. Everybody's seen that video of that shot probably by now. Really emotional. I mean, I was pretty much in tears for the second half of this film. A great story of sort of courage and survival amidst a horrific tragedy. Yeah, just a really good film, really good performance. Naomi Watts was stunning in this. She sort of disappears the second half of the film, but I thought her performance was on par with Jennifer Lawrence and Jessica Chastain from last year. I thought those were the three best female lead performances of the year. Yeah, just a great film, very emotional. I'm not gonna lie, highly worth checking out. Okay, up next, another surprise for me, because sort of a personal surprise, because I didn't really know what to expect going in. I didn't know much about the character or what it was based on, and that's Jack Reacher, directed by Christopher McQuarrie and starring Tom Cruise. Yeah, an interesting crime thriller set in Pittsburgh. Going into it, I thought it was set in Los Angeles, just based on previews I saw. I thought it was more of an action film. But it's a really interesting crime thriller. A Marine sort of commits a horrific public act at the beginning, sort of in tune with all the mass shootings we've had in the States over the past couple years. And he asked for Jack Reacher, a former military investigator, to sort of assist with the investigation. Also stars Rosamund Pike, a really good British actress who I've liked since the Bond film Die Another Day. So good to see her in this. Always like Tom Cruise. I don't care about him as a celebrity and all that stuff, but I've always liked him as an actor. And he's very good in this. I love the way he sort of goes about his business. Very smart. Some good action scenes. Yeah, just a really good sort of crime thriller, and it wasn't what I was expecting. This film didn't really do that well when it came out. Like before Thanksgiving, I believe it came out. But I dug it. Yeah, Jack Reacher, I thought it was good. Okay, up next, probably one of the most highly touted films of last year, for obvious reasons, and that's Silver Linings Playbook, directed by David O. Russell, who directed The Fighter, of course, and lots of other decent films. Yeah, great cast: Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence in her Oscar-winning performance, Robert De Niro, Jackie Weaver, and Chris Tucker. Bradley Cooper plays a guy trying to get his life back together after losing his job and his wife, and spending some time in a sort of mental institution. He sort of has this new outlook where he tries to look for the positive things. He has no filter when he talks to people, says what's on his mind, and because of this, he sort of strikes up an odd romantic friendship with Jennifer Lawrence, who's a widow and a dancer, and then it sort of becomes about this struggle between them entering this dance contest and Bradley Cooper's family, especially his father, played by a very good Robert De Niro, who's obsessed with the Philadelphia Eagles and football and being superstitious, that kind of thing. Yeah, Chris Tucker as well. I was really sort of pleased to see him in this, in a very sort of nice, small, supporting role. He's kind of been off the radar since, I don't know, Rush Hour 3 or whatever. But I've always sort of enjoyed him as well. Bradley Cooper, hottest guy on the planet right now. Take that for both meanings, I guess. And Jennifer Lawrence, of course, very good. And she probably deserved to win because she's great in this. So that's Silver Linings Playbook. Okay, last but not least, my second favorite horror film of 2012, and that's Sinister. Directed by Scott Derrickson and starring Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke plays a true crime writer. He's had a big success with his first book, and 10 years later, he's trying to come up with his second. That always seems to be the case with movies about writers. Either they're sort of at the end of their career and sort of on their last legs, or they've had one great big success and now they're looking for the next one. Yeah, he moves his family, inexplicably I gotta say, into a house where a family has been murdered and a child went missing. Then he finds this box of old film, all these old sort of home movies of families getting murdered, mysterious figure in the background, this demon character or whatever. But it's really good, it's really creepy. And it follows through at the end, which I really appreciated. It doesn't sort of hold back at the end of the movie. I've always liked Ethan Hawke. I'm really looking forward to seeing Before Midnight, which comes out soon, I think. I love Before Sunrise and Before Sunset, those two movies with Julie Delpy, directed by Richard Linklater. Yeah, really good. And I was kind of worried going into this film because of shit like this at the top. From the producers of Paranormal Activity and Insidious. I like the Paranormal Activity films enough, but it's enough with 4. But I hated Insidious. I thought it was terrible. And other films that came out last year were similar to this, like The Apparition, which was terrible. Possession, which I must admit I did enjoy. Probably not enough to buy, to be honest. I wasn't a fan of Mama. Mama! That fucking movie it cracked me up every time I saw the previews and it was Mama! Even though I like Jessica Chastain, and it was just stupid at the end. But yeah, so I was worried going into this, but this one surprised me. It really sort of stood out from that crowd. Yeah, one of the best horror movies of last year, and Ethan Hawke, great actor. Sort of holds it together, and the film doesn't hold back at the end, which I really appreciated. So those are the 8 movies, 8 good Blu-rays from 2012. Let me know what you think if you've seen any of these films. And as always, thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya.
Bond. James Bond.